Alright, welcome to part 3 of the Metal Gear Solid Help. This one we're going to cover um, Camo and items. And this should be the final one. So, when you play this game, you're going to get a whole bunch of items. The iPod comes automatically. Solid Eye is automatic. And the Metal Gear Mark II, you get upgraded to the Mark III for free. Both of those are automatic. When you get to a scripted point, you get that. The drum can, you'll get automatically upon picking it up at a point in the story. I believe you have to go out of your way for cardboard box. Camera, you won't pick up. And don't worry about it. It's not useful in the run. It's just something that clutters your inventory. Signal Interceptor is going to be automatic. You're going to pick it up, and it's just going to sit in your items the whole rest of the time. Because item management is not anywhere near as important as it might come off initially. Items are going to be a lot of just sit and forget. SIGs are automatic. Munya is something you have to actually go pick up. So as long as you don't pick it up, it's not going to be in your inventory. Syringe is automatic. Syringe is actually one of the most useful items in the game. So the thing about the syringe is when you use it, you gain you temporarily do not lose physique. And it also instantly refills your physique, which is excuse me, which is extremely beneficial. On starting at solid normal, your physique is going to start being a problem. Usually you'll use, if you're running New Game Plus, any percent, or just non-big boss, you're going to use one at about Power Station, and you'll be done with Syringe, other than the scripted one in Mantis. If you're running Big Boss Hard, I think you use 2, and if you're using TBE, you use anywhere from 2 to 3, depending on how Act 2 is going. And they're always going to be in Act 2. But it's a massively useful item, because without this, you'll puke, your back will hurt, and you'll just lose time and speed. Scanning plug is a password item. It will never end up in your inventory if you don't put it there. It's also from MGO, but if you didn't play MGO, then you can't get it outside of the password. Rations are going to be in your inventory. Ration management is kind of important because you get 15 on the easiest difficulty, 10, 5, 3, 2, or something like that. Maybe 5, 5, 5. I don't know. But they're not really, because you can also pick up noodles and regen. And all 3 of these do the exact same thing. So, just pick them up. And on higher difficulties, be prepared to have these menued in as well. Now, on Big Boss, you can't use any of these. But if you're not doing a Big Boss run, you can use any of these you want. Don't actively use them. Just sit on them. And use cycle mode. And then you can just tap the swap button and it can swap to it. And then it'll get used automatically when you need it, and you'll be okay. I don't know if you can pick Pentazemin up on the run. I don't think so, since I only have one. It's not useful. Compress, I think you'll pick one up. It's not useful because you have the syringe, so you don't have to worry about it. And then the bandana and the stealth are for, you either buy them from Drebin or you just beat the game. With certain requirements to get them. They're both special items and they're both banned in speedruns. And they'll also cost you your Big Boss emblem too. And then the other thing I want to talk about in this is Camo. Now, I have to go to a save to show you Camos. So, bear with me a couple seconds while I load that. I'm gonna load this one. These are the screens I was talking about earlier. These screens do not count against IGT, and you can sit on these for infinity if you'd like. So the first thing right off the back is you'll notice that I look ugly as hell with the mask. The things about camouflage here are Octo Camo is pretty relevant. Even on a big boss run, I mean, you'll blend in when you need it. What I'm here now to talk about is these costumes here. So there are two types of costume, or there are 4 costumes in total. This is a South America rebel disguise. It's kind of out of the way, and I would not pick it up unless you need it, or unless you're like having a really hard time on Big Boss. It only works for the rebels, and that only matters on TBE, because on every difficulty earlier than that, the rebels will almost automatically become your friends. So it just makes not getting alerts slightly easier if you're wearing this. Suit is irrelevant. You use it for swag. That's about it. There's another disguise for the Middle East. In new game runs, you pick it up, or in big boss runs, you pick it up because it blends in with all the militia, who will otherwise, by default, always be your enemy unless they see you taking out the PMC. Now, Altair here, this is the equivalent of the Middle East disguise. It works. It makes it so that they don't attack you. The thing is, you get it either by beating the game with the assassin emblem or putting a password in. And obviously, the fact that it requires a password makes it not eligible for new game runs. But new game plus, if you put the Altair in, that's fine. It's completely fine if you'd like to, though you honestly don't need it. It's just a little bit of time save for, say, a new game plus big boss run if you don't have the Middle East thing, or the Middle East costume. Just be aware that when you're wearing the Altair, you can't put face camo on. Chest is irrelevant. You're never going to have to worry about chest. That's just aesthetics. Now, face camo, most of these are going to come automatically for you. Face camo is automatic after Octopus. It's irrelevant. You'll never use it. Young is going to be automatic in Act 3. Young with bandana, I believe, is automatic in Act 3. MGS1 is automatic in Act 4. So these are the beauty camos. The way you get these are for non-lethaling the beauty forms of each of the bosses. The R, C, and S beauty are worthless. Don't even bother with them if you if you're going for the solar gun, you're gonna have them here and you're gonna have to deal with them. If you don't go for the solar gun, the only one you want is L beauty or laughing beauty. This is a very, very beneficial face camo, and it makes Act 3 way easier because you don't have to deal with enemies being or alerting upon seeing you. Otacon, you have to specifically bump into Otacon to get it. Drebin, you have to do something special. I don't remember, but you probably won't have Drebin in your inventory either. There's a couple more you can get that I don't have here, but I mean, the fact that I don't have them means that you'll never pick them up without specifically going out of your way to do it. And then this is the final camo. So Big Boss is kind of a contentious subject, but for now it's fine, it's allowed, and it's the fastest way to play the game. What Big Boss does is, well, first let's explain. the way to get Big Boss is to beat the game with the Big Boss rank. That automatically gives you the Big Boss face camo. And what this camo does, and I can just show you right here since I was wearing it, is it instantly fears enemies like these frogs. So you see how that frog immediately fainted without me having to do anything? That's because this Big Boss face camo feared her. So that works on every guard type, but it only fears other guards. Frogs it actually makes faint. So it's actually really fast anywhere you're dealing with a frog issue. So I'll show you right here. So because I shot that, these two frogs just faint immediately and they're out of the fight. If it was normal soldiers, they'd run away in fear. So all in all, it probably saves 5 minutes potentially in all of the different frog sections, because there's about four frog sections in the game that you're gonna deal with them, maybe more depending on your difficulty. Stops alerts, stops frogs. It makes the game easier. And a little faster. So, yep, that is items and camos.